call you but you never even answer. I tell myself I'm done with wicked games, but then I get so numb with all the laughter that I forget about the pain. Hi guys, it's me, Princess Rian. That's how you say it. Rian. And I'm back today for another July favorites. Another favorite that is for July. I'm an awkward turtle today, but we're gonna get through this. I'm gonna start with the two products that I actually talked about in my last video because I feel like my first impressions, they weren't that informative. So I'm gonna give you guys like a full review of what these are really like. So again, this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. This doesn't work, but I do it anyway. I am going to show you what it looks like. So this is again Sand Beige 201. So this is it. Squeezed it. It spreads really easily, really beautifully. So you can tell that's exactly my skin tone. It totally disappeared. It dries down with a powdery finish. Like it's matte, but it's like powdery. As I've experienced the past two times that I've used it, since it's powdery, since it's matte, your face doesn't get oily right away, and it totally does not disappear. It's full coverage. For something that has disappeared, it is full coverage when I put it on my face. I barely have to use any concealer except for under my eyes. So I really like this product. It lasts very long. Again, full coverage, spreads easily, best to use your fingertips. Excellent color selection, well, at least because my skin tone is quite difficult to find in drugstores here in the Philippines, so that's a huge plus and I really recommend it. I think that you guys should go out and get it while it's on sale. I think it's still on sale. The original price is 700 pesos, but you can get it for 525 in SM Makati if you go right now. Not an ad, just helping you guys save money. Next is the Nishido Final Powder in the color Pink Glow. This is wonderful. I've used it. It does its job as a final powder. I haven't tried any other final powder, so I can't tell you if it's good or bad, but it seems like it does its job. I don't get oily. Even when I sweat, I don't get shiny. My one issue with this product is its packaging. I don't really know how else powder is supposed to be packaged, but since it's loose powder, I guess it's supposed to be like this. I just need tips, I guess, on how to take care of something like this. So far, it hasn't spilled through because I've been really careful about it being in my makeup bag. So yeah, I think that you guys should get this. Recommended. They have a few shades. I've seen it. They have for neutral, yellow, and pink toned colors. So if you're another tone, then... The next beauty product I'm gonna talk about was... It was sort of a impulse buy. Well, not exactly impulse because I was out to get my moisturizer, which I've talked about before, the Celatec moisturizer. And then the Celatec girl in Mercury Jug was like, oh, this is best paired with a toner. And okay, I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. I never understood the concept of a toner. My face care products have always been from the dermatologist. I've only started using commercial beauty products, I'm not sure if that's the right term, but not medicinal beauty products, face care, recently when my dermatologist told me that I should get off meds and just try a moisturizer because maybe my face was just imbalanced and that's why I was getting pimples and acne of the skin and rashes and all that, maybe because I just wasn't properly moisturized, and she was right. So I bought the Celatec moisturizer, I've been using it ever since, it's beautiful. But then this girl was like, you need a toner too. So apparently she said toner helps get rid of the dirt that your face wash can't, and it also preps your skin for moisturizing. So I've been using it for almost half a month, I guess. This is the same brand, Celatec. I'm pretty sure I just fell into the traps of capitalism, but I can't say that this has been doing a bad job. There are some pesky little dirts that don't come off, and they come off with this. So I feel extra clean just seeing that some dirt has been taken off, and I think that's a good feeling. I can't tell you if my skin has gotten better or worse. It seems the same. If you guys want that satisfying feeling, then you should totally pick this up. The next thing is also a beauty product. It is the Neutrogena Oil-Free Moisture with Sunscreen SPF 15. So it looks like this. My aunt actually gave this to me because she had an extra one lying around and she thought I might need some SPF, which is true. We all need SPF. Take care of your skin. This has been amazing. I actually have been using it quite a lot because if I'm not wearing foundation, well, before I had this, if I'm not wearing foundation, I'm wearing what I've talked about before, which is my Shiseido tinted moisturizer with SPF. But I felt like it still had some makeup on it, so it wasn't really like giving my face a rest. So on days that I really want to give my face a break from all the makeup, I use this so that even though I don't have makeup on, I still am protecting it with SPF. It's been very gentle. Again, I have asthma of the skin, so all these products for sure will not irritate your skin. So this is what it looks like. It's white. It's not colorless, it's white, so you have to be very careful. Oh, now I have to spread it around because I just put it on. You have to be very careful about the amount that you put on your skin, or else you would look like a ghost and you would really affect the makeup that you're wearing. Although I haven't tried this under makeup, I don't think I would recommend it. Just get a foundation with SPF. There's like loads of those going around. My next favorite is this ginormous bag that my roommate's mom got for me in the States. Love you, Tita. Love you, Nikita. I actually haven't been able to use this when they gave it to me straight away. But now that I've been going around needing to bring lots of stuff with me for my tutoring job, for my shoots, for my VDRs, stuff like that, I really appreciated this tote bag. It's been a lifesaver and it's very stylish too, so I don't need to bring a backpack around, because like, you know, before I would just use my backpack. Now I get to be both practical and stylish, which I really, really love. It is Hollister, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I can't. Oh, found it. I think it's Hollister. I can't tell. I removed the tag, so let's say it's Hollister. Maybe it is. Now we're gonna go to movies and songs. I'm gonna start with the song. Actually, I just have one favorite song and one favorite movie that came out this month, and I'm gonna start with the song. The song is Back to You by Louis Tomlinson. Let's just lay this out here. I'd say a level 2 directioner. Let's say 5 is the highest. I'm not level 5. I wouldn't like stalk them completely or whatever, but I am obsessed with their songs. I watch their videos on YouTube, their interviews, things like that. I mean, I'm a stable fan, you know? I became a fan of One Direction not because of the boys per se, but because of the music that they've been releasing. It's my kind of music. The simple lyrics with a straightforward message, written creatively, poetically, stuff like that. And that's what One Direction has been coming out with, and that's the same style that Niall and Louis have been coming out with. Louis has not exactly released a song yet until this month, and I have fallen in love with Back to You. In fact, that's the song that I used to warm up for this video. Sometimes there are days like that when you just need to warm up before you start a video. So I'm gonna show you guys what that looked like. I know my friends, they give me bad advice, like move on, get you out of my mind. You got me so addicted to the drama. I tell myself I'm done with wicked games. I don't know, I'm obsessed with the song. The lyrics are straightforward, very millennial, but yet the angst is there, the tension between wanting to get over someone but still always coming back to them no matter what they try to do. The melody is nice too, and Louis, you are not just the other One Direction member. You are a good One Direction member, and you are one of my favorites too, so don't put yourself down, honey. This song is the bomb. And now I'm gonna talk about my favorite thing that's been happening this July. I've been obsessed with Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, hold your reins, because I know that this is a topic that people like to fight about. Which Spider-Man was better? Who's the better Spider-Man? Who played Peter Parker best? Hold on. For all those questions, I am going to answer Tom Holland, but in no way am I removing merit, taking away merit from how well Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield played the role. I'm just gonna lay this out here. Tom Holland was the best Spider-Man, and this was the best Spider-Man movie. War. Do I hear World War III? I think I do. My own personal opinion is that this Spider-Man Homecoming is the best Spider-Man movie, and Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker and Spider-Man. And I'm just gonna explain why that is my personal opinion. My first reason is because I always found it hard to reconcile the fact that Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man and that Andrew Garfield was Peter Parker. They did a good job at portraying two separate roles. Tobey Maguire was an excellent Peter Parker, given the plot and the storyline of that Spider-Man. However, his character as Peter Parker was very far from his character as Spider-Man. So it was quite weird for me. The same thing goes for Andrew Garfield. He was an excellent Spider-Man, but he was too cool of a Peter Parker. Does that make sense? It was very hard to believe that they were playing both Spider-Man and Peter Parker because the way that they portrayed both characters were too far from each other that you couldn't believe that they were one person. I really appreciate the direction that Marvel took with portraying Peter Parker and Spider-Man. They made sure that you knew that Peter Parker and Spider-Man were one person. Second reason why I really love Spider-Man Homecoming is because you really have to appreciate the direction that Marvel took it in. The first two Spider-Mans were very similar. It just so happened that the tones were different. Like, the first Spider-Man was very sad, and so the color palette was dark. The second Spider-Man tried to be really different from it by being more colorful, more crazy. But they were very similar in terms of how the plot was constructed and the romance and stuff like that. Like, they all start with like how Spider-Man came to be, and they all have the same shots of him going around New York, and that's why they're being compared so much to each other, because even though the color gradient is different, the actor is different, and the take on Spider-Man is different, sad and happy, it's still so similar. Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane, both the damsels in distress, even though I have to say Gwen Stacy was excellent because she tried to help and things like that, and Mary Jane was just a damsel in distress. The effect of this girl to them is still the same. If you're trying to make this film different from this film, even though it's the same character, you gotta do something about it, not just the color gradient and the actor and the tone of the plot. On the other hand, Marvel here with like a mission to bring back the Spider-Man that Marvel itself wants to bring out to the world. So what Marvel did was, again, set it back into his high school, make sure they got a kid, make sure that they were able to portray his life as Peter Parker properly. We see Peter Parker struggling to be Spider-Man, struggling to make his Spider-Man noticed in this world. And I think that's a very teenager thing, you know, like you kind of want to be noticed, you want to be given your merit, you want people to congratulate you, to notice you, to recognize you as an individual who's capable of doing things. That's a very teenager thing, and it just so happened that he's having those issues and he's Spider-Man, so he brought those issues to his being Spider-Man. You know, he has girl issues, he has things like that, and his teenage life, his life as a high school student, is meshed with his being Spider-Man. It's done so well, it's written so well, it shows that his personal life is not separated from his being a superhero. And although the other two movies did touch on that, I'm not saying they didn't touch on it, they focused on him being Spider-Man, and his personal life was just the side dish. Here we have equal weights of his being both Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and I think that was a wonderful take. Also, it also showed how Spider-Man can't really use his web if there aren't high buildings around, and that was hilarious to me. The third reason why I love this movie, well, it's not because of the movie itself, but because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how it uses each movie as like a slow character development thing. We've already seen Spider-Man, right, in Civil War. He's so excited to be an Avenger, and they bring that to this movie. They start with that, like, that was the height of Spider-Man in Civil War, and so that's where we're starting with here in Homecoming. And that is what propels the story as well, that he wants to become an Avenger, he wants to be recognized as Spider-Man, and he has to prove himself to be able to do that. However, what I super love about this movie is that we're not met with like a random incident that just changes his personality. Isn't that just the thing with superhero movies sometimes, that they treat one movie as like the end all be all of a person, that one person's life can change with one significant life event. But that's not always the case. Sometimes a certain perspective changes, but your entire personality doesn't. For example, in Iron Man, he was kidnapped, he saw that the bad people were using his weapons, and so he changed that outlook in his life, but his personality, the cocky billionaire, philanthropist, whatever, it was still there because that wasn't affected. That's what I really appreciate about Marvel, is that they really take each movie as a small step towards the character arc that they're trying to develop for that certain character. A lot of people are arguing that Homecoming wasn't a good movie because there was no character development, that despite the 2 hours, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, was still a cocky little kid who was reckless and everything like that. Well, that's the truth, guys. He's a teenager. And if you're a real person, you're not gonna change just like that. Just because you're stuck under the rubble and then you realize that everything you've been doing is a mess and you need to plan more and you're not strong enough and things like that, it's not gonna change exactly how you go through your everyday life. It's a slow process, character development, and that's the truth. And I think that's what Marvel understands. That's why Marvel movies are so relatable, because these personalities of these characters, they're constant. You know who they are, you know what they work for, you know what's important to them. And some life events may change their perspective, but you see them change their perspective in a way that's cohesive, I don't know what word I'm looking for, that's still in line with their personality. That's what I'm trying to say. It's believable, it's realistic, and this Spider-Man was all of that. Very relatable, very realistic, very colorful, very fun. Marvel did succeed with what it was trying to do with this Spider-Man. Tom Holland is a realistic Spider-Man that I am rooting for. That just wasn't the case with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Sometimes, you know, you can't really root for Tobey Maguire. Sometimes you just want to slap him in the face and be like, get yourself together. Or Andrew Garfield, you kind of want to tell him to like, hey, take things seriously, take things a little more seriously. But then Tom Holland finds that balance of Peter Parker's personality that we can root for. And that's very important, I think, in characterization. So I commend Tom Holland and Marvel for somehow bringing that about to the big screen. Tell me what you guys think about all my favorites, especially Back to You by Louis Tomlinson and Spider-Man Homecoming. Tell me what you think, because I'd love to know what you guys think about the other Spider-Mans, what you guys think about the other One Direction boys songs. And I'll be back next month for another favorites video. Bye!